Hi, this is Juha from NouxCloud, and this video is about NouxCloud release notes April 2023. Let's have a look what we have done lately and released lately. So this is the contents. New cloud features. Let's start going them through. Uh, Reporting, repeat and data flow trigger. Uh, as you know, we have now added this reports section. It basically works like this, that we take our dashboard and we can freeze it as a report. So let's assume, let me take something like previous month, all the data here. Uh, and then here I can select that save as report, and let's call it monthly report, and a new one. I will save it, and it will then appear here. I have some of these here already. This is the one I just made, new report monthly. Basically, I can click this one and jump back to the frozen view. So here I cannot edit the time range selector or anything anymore. But the reporting feature means that what if I want to make this monthly report repeating? I can go and edit it, and then I can create occurrences. So let's agree that let's make this monthly, and let's make something like now, sorry, let's make 12 occurrences. So for the whole year, and let's select the start date. Let's go actually back to the, let's go a year back. Actually, let's start from here. Okay, let's select this, and I will save this. And as you can see now, there is now this kind of icon appeared. So we've generated reports. So if I click this one, I can now see 12 occurrences from the start date that I selected. So as you can see, it goes backwards also. So this is not only for creating reports to the future, but we can create reports to backwards as long as we have the data, of course. And here I can jump to any instance now. And also I mentioned that there's a data flow triggering for the reports. Basically here, if we take a look at data flows, let me create a new one. I think that it's under miscellaneous. We have that here. We have report block, and here we can define that which dashboard it will use as a report, and start saving those. This enables you to create certain conditions. For example, that if you are creating a daily report out of a machine, but you want to create the report only for those days, then the machine has been on. So here with the data flow, you can create the conditions so that it will only create the report when the machine has been on. Okay. And then company-specific user invitation email. Let's take a look at that one. I will go to settings, and here under companies, here you remember we set the appearance of the system, which logo to use and which are the primary colors. Now we also have here this email option. This is by default what it says. This is the message that is sent when you create a new user, and they will get this invitation link. You can now edit it. You can make it as you like, and so you can brand label this message also. Okay. Then we have this view as other user. This is actually quite cool cool function. So we're already in the settings, and here we have multiple users. Now if I create another user, I would need to see that what can they actually see. Let me open. This is the one that I'm using now. So I don't have any options now because this user doesn't have the root access or root level role. I need to assign that to myself. Let me save, and then let me go to the user section and actually refresh the page. Now if I want to see that what some other user is actually able to see, of course the roles and permissions and user specific node filters control that what they can see, but it might be a little guessing unless you can actually see that you have created now a user who should have very limited visibility to certain things. So you can go here, or let's take a look at this one. This is another root level user. Here we have now this view as user. So if I click that one, I'm now seeing what this user is seeing. Okay, basically this is seeing the same that I am, because I already take this root option to myself also. But here you can see it's a bit different. What if they would have different kind of permissions, that they wouldn't see this dashboard, or this dashboard list might be a bit different. I think this is now actually more extensive than what I have myself, or that another role and user I'm using in this video. And but this way you can test that what the user is actually available to see, and what access they have. And you can close this by selecting this one, and then it will jump back to this user that I was using. So let me actually go back here and excuse me. Well, let's keep the root access actually for a while still. Because I will then present this custom object edit panel. As you remember, custom objects are what we use if we want to attach some metadata to nodes, for example customers or spare parts or recipes, for example. And they are normally created here. Each object needs a schema, and then we can create multiple objects to that schema. But this is not very nice way for the basic user if they need to, for example, edit the custom objects. So the target is that we do all the editing in the dashboard mode. So then you only need to give access to dashboard module to users. If I go here again, let's take something. This doesn't now matter, but I'll just or actually let's try to add a new dashboard. And here let us add this custom object edit panel. Now if I select the schema that has been created before, let's take this spare part for example, and let's also select table instead of drop down. So it will now show what spare parts we have in this schema called spare part. Two rows basically. I'll save this one. You can see here now we can go to view mode and edit this row here. If I want to call it something else, I can either save it or cancel it. This means that you don't have to have access to these sections. We can do the editing here, of course, then depending on the permissions. Again, I will not now save this. But again, we always aim for that kind of use, that if you have external users, or let's say the users who have limited permissions like your own customers, then everything should be done in the dashboards and not to give them access to other menus. right. What do we have then? Wiki. Okay, I can actually show it here, but let me jump to back here, and I will take this one out. So I go to roles. By the way, this is another new feature. Uh, it's it's asking that because now I have unsaved changes, that do I want to save and continue without saving. Actually, this is not now asking it, do I want to save and continue, because I have never saved this dashboard, but it makes it easier to not to actually accidentally just continue without saving. So you really need to select it like this one. I go back here, take this. Sorry, I was now in the roles. I need to go to the users. I go here, and I take the root away and save again and refresh. As you can see now, a lot of these were removed, these menus. So please always remember that when I'm showing things, my user interface might be a bit different than yours. It's because of two reasons. First one is that I have these certain permissions that I have created to myself, and the second one is that we do have different levels of NouxCloud. So I'm showing the premium feature. Not all features are available for all users. Okay, but I was about to go to the wiki. I can actually show it here also. We have had a previously separate site for documentation and instructions and guidelines called NouxCloud Wiki. We will be shutting down that site, and we will be integrating the wiki here. You can see here this question mark icon. If I click that one, so this is what our wiki will then look like. Basically we have the same stuff, and we will keep editing this one. You can make it bigger here, and keep opening these ones. And by the way, these release notes will be then available here in this wiki. I keep adding these videos here, and you can close the wiki view like this. Okay, that's basically for the new cloud features. About new edge features, well, we have added Ethernet IP write option, so it's now working both ways. We can read and write with this protocol. But if we jump to smaller general improvements, let's start with this unit setting with use series on axis X. That means, again, let me now edit this one, or try to edit it. As you probably remember, there's this use series on axis X. That means that because normally always our x-axis is time, but with this one you can select it to be any other time series. The use case for this normally is that if you have coordinates, you have a cutting machine, for example, and you have x and y coordinates. This way you can make some sense to it by adding the x time series here, so it will draw the coordinates to the graph. Then unfortunately I don't have that kind of data here that I could present this. But what the actual new feature is that we can also add unit to that x-axis. Then previously it was not possible, so a small improvement. Let me out of here. Okay, and then table panel hide timestamp. So if we add a table panel here, let's select this one, and let's add some certain, let's take for example part counter. So you can see now that it will always have this kind of timestamp and then the value. And in certain situations it doesn't make much sense to have this timestamp. For example, if I group this by 1 hour, and then I can name this like part counter per hour or something like that. So it already says it. I don't necessarily need to see this. I can hide this by selecting this one. It tells which variable I'm using and so forth. If you want to hide the timestamp, so it is possible now, like this. Let me actually save that one here. What else did we have? Install base filter clearing. Okay, now I will also demonstrate. I will jump to completely another place. Now here you can see that because I have already saved dashboard, that do I want to save and continue or continue without saving or cancel the whole thing. I don't want to go here anymore. Okay, but that install base filter clearing, let me jump to this. Okay, I will not now save the changes. This advanced data visualization dashboard, I have added to this dashboard links to another machines. This is now showing from two different machines some values, and I have added link that okay, let's jump to machine 1. But because the machines are identical, what happens when I click this one? You can see here that the installed base filter was enabled because the machines are identical. I only have one dashboard, and I will use the ones to get the same dashboard, but then it will just enable the installed base filter separately, and that's how it should be. But the problem is now when I go back here to the original, let's say the main dashboard, installed base filter stays on, and this it will now affect this also. So for this reason, by dashboards, we can select here that when we clear the installed base filter when we enter this. So let me. Otherwise, I have to go here and clear it manually. As you can see, the figures changed. So let's try again. We have now this setting on that. Oh, sorry. Setting is now on, and I will go to machine 1. Again, the installed base filter was enabled, and then I will jump to back to this main dashboard, and when I entered it's not enabled anymore. So this is how it works. I will take it out. All right, and then about installed base filter, it also now affects write panels. Previously, it was mostly for reading. So if you had a control panel in a certain dashboard, it was a bit peculiar. It didn't affect that one. Now it affects that one also. Then hide labels without nodes. That means let me go to, for example, this one. This actually now for some reason it was here still. Okay, labels. So again, this is about the installed base usage or installed base filter usage mostly. This means that let's assume that we have a machine that in some locations it has more these variables than in the other, so some additional variables, and if we would have made a graph out of it, and now if I change to that kind of machine, well, let's assume that we have a machine that some have these two variables or time series and some only one. What would happen is that previously it showed, it would have shown the sort of the label that it is there, but there was just no data, so it didn't put anything into this graph. What this hide panel does now is it doesn't even show the time series. If there simply is nothing to show and it does not even exist, it will not write the label here. So that is the use case using this installed base filter. That's not possible to configure it. It's there inbuilt. So that's also might be a reason if you sometimes jump to a different machine and then wonder why something is lost. It's because there isn't that kind of variable in that machine. Okay. Then we have alert node filter with alias. If I go to alerts now, yeah, and again, it asks. Let me this time save and continue. Okay, I don't have anything active here, but in the history I can see that I have this every once in a while overheating alert. We have added this node filter here, so that we can see that where is this coming from, which node, or you can by nodes, meaning by machines, you can see the alerts here. This also works now with aliases, node aliases. Before it only used the actual node and node path, but now it works with alias, node alias also. And then we have custom object API, and actually the last one is also about APIs. For that reason, let me show you our documentation of the API. So this is the Swagger. What we have added here, well, first of all, the custom objects are now added here again. So if you have put customers or spare parts or anything to the nodes, we now have API. You can get them or you can write them via this way. And we have added to this one, so it works with wildcards. So if you're going to take all the last data, you can now separate that which variables to use. So it uses this kind of dot star syntax. You can keep adding these. Okay. Let me close this one. That was basically all we had this time. Please remember to check out the new wiki once you have it available. And like I said, these release notes will be available there. Thank you for watching.